Welcome to the Heritage Corridor of Ascension Mar Thoma Church, a journey through faith, sacrifice, resilience, and renewal. The faith journey of the Mar Thoma Church begins here. Our story begins with a sacred calling. At the very beginning, you see the Great Commission, where Jesus Christ sends forth his disciples to carry the light of the gospel to all nations. From that divine commission began a mission that would cross oceans, cultures, and centuries. You now see St. Thomas the Apostle arriving on the shores of India in AD 52. In obedience to Christ's call, he planted the seeds of the gospel in the land of Malankara, laying the foundation of one of the world's oldest Christian traditions. As the faith grew, Kanai Thoma arrived with a faithful community from the east, strengthening the life and continuity of the early church in India. Centuries later, Vasco da Gama arrived in India through newly opened sea routes. With this encounter, the Malankara Church entered a new era of relationship with Western Christianity, a time of opportunity, challenge, and transformation. Then came the Synod of Diampur, where efforts arose to place the ancient Malankara Church under Latin authority, reshaping many of its inherited traditions and practices. But the spirit of the faithful endured. At the historic Coonan Cross Oath, the people of the Church stood together in unity, vowing to preserve the freedom, heritage, and identity of their ancient faith. From this defining moment emerged the first Mar Thoma, the first Malankara metropolitan of the renewed church, guiding the faithful through uncertainty and laying the foundation for indigenous leadership and continuity. The generations that followed carried the church through seasons of struggle and perseverance. The second Mar Thoma sustained the newly independent church during a time of immense external pressure. The third Mar Thoma preserved the sacred West Syriac liturgical traditions of the Church. The fourth Mar Thoma strengthened and consolidated the life of the Malankara community over 4 decades. Though not pictured here, the 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th Mar Thoma metropolitans faithfully carried the Church through changing times, preserving its continuity, leadership, and spiritual heritage for future generations. A new chapter now unfolds before you. Mar Dionysius II encouraged learning and strengthened the educational foundations of the Church. Punathara Mar Dionysius III promoted English education and strengthened parish administration across the region. Chepid Mar Dionysius defended the Syriac heritage of the Church during the historic Mavalikara Synod. From within this season emerged Abraham Malpan, a courageous reformer and spiritual visionary. He called the Church back to the truth, simplicity, and living message of the gospel. Inspired by this movement of renewal, His Grace Matthews Mar Athanasius Metropolitan carried the Reformation forward, igniting spiritual awakening within the Church. His Grace Thomas Mar Athanasius Metropolitan guided the Church through division and legal struggle with steadfast faith and leadership. His Grace Titus, the first Mar Thoma Metropolitan, became the first to formally bear the title Mar Thoma Metropolitan. His Grace Titus II, Mar Thoma Metropolitan, led the Church through expansion, organization, and institutional growth. His Grace Dr. Abraham Mar Thoma Metropolitan became known as the Prophet of the Church for his missionary vision and outreach. Alongside these leaders, bishops such as Right Reverend Matthews Mar Athanasius Episcopa strengthened the growing ministries of the Church. His Grace Dr. Johannon Mar Thoma Metropolitan expanded the global witness of the Church through ecumenical leadership and unity. Right Reverend Thomas Mar Athanasius Suffragan Metropolitan faithfully strengthened the spiritual life of the Church through pastoral leadership. Right Reverend Iaso Mar Timotheos Episcopa guided generations with wisdom, scholarship, and faithful ministry. His Grace Dr. Alexander Mar Thoma, remembered as the Valia Metropolitan, expanded the worldwide mission and outreach of the Church. Right Reverend Dr. Zacharias Mar Theophilus, Suffragan Metropolitan, inspired many through preaching, evangelism, and spiritual renewal. Right Reverend Givargese Mar Athanasius, Suffragan Metropolitan, strengthened theological education and pastoral formation. His Grace Dr. Joseph Mar Thoma Metropolitan strengthened humanitarian missions and the Church's global ministries in a rapidly changing world. His Grace Dr. Philippos Mar Chrysostom Mar Thoma Valia Metropolitan touched countless lives through wisdom, compassion, humility, and joyful service. Today, under the leadership of His Grace Dr. Theodosius Mar Thoma Metropolitan, the Church continues its witness through justice, compassion, stewardship, and service. Serving alongside the Metropolitan, Right Reverend Dr. Joachim Mar Kurilos, Suffragan Metropolitan, continues the Church's witness through prophetic leadership and social engagement. Right Reverend Dr. Joseph Mar Barnabas, Suffragan Metropolitan, strengthens the spiritual and pastoral life of the Church through faithful ministry and compassionate leadership. Right Reverend Thomas Mar Timotheos, Episcopa, continues the mission of worship, service, and spiritual care across generations. Right Reverend Dr. Isaac Mar Philoxenos, Episcopa, guides the faithful through ministry rooted in scholarship and spiritual formation. Right Reverend Dr. Abraham Mar Paulos, Episcopa, expands diocesan outreach through compassionate mission and service. Right Reverend Dr. Matthews Mar Makarios, Episcopa, strengthens the Church through pastoral leadership and spiritual encouragement. Right Reverend Dr. Gregorios Mar Stephanos, Episcopa, continues the legacy of faithful ministry and servant leadership. Right Reverend Dr. Thomas Mar Tithos, Episcopa, shepherds the faithful through worship, teaching, and pastoral care. Right Reverend Zacharias Mar Aprem, Episcopa, represents a new generation carrying the mission of the Church forward. Right Reverend Dr. Joseph Mar Ivanios, Episcopa, continues the Church's mission through spiritual leadership and faithful ministry. Right Reverend Matthews Mar Seraphim, Episcopa, joins this continuing legacy of service, leadership, and witness for future generations. And so the journey continues, from the shores where St. Thomas first proclaimed the gospel, through seasons of struggle, renewal, and faith, to this very generation. The story of the Mar Thoma Church is more than history. It is a living witness, a continuing mission, a heritage of faith carried forward from generation to generation. And now, the story rests in our hands. The faith that crossed oceans, survived persecution, and endured through generations, now lives through us. As those before us carried the light of the gospel to the world, so are we now called to carry it forward, in faith, in truth, and in love. Just as Jesus Christ commissioned his disciples nearly 2,000 years ago, the mission continues through us. Thank you for visiting the Heritage Corridor.